How's it going today, boys? It is that time of the week, so I'm gonna be getting up on my soapbox and just talking. This week, I kind of want to talk about something a little closer to home, and that's trying, or more specifically, trying new things and meeting new people, being adventurous, spontaneous. That lifestyle that gets promoted so much. Um, and honestly, for good reason. I think a lot of people are so into those kind of videos and into those reels that they see online of people. Oh, I went to so and so for 3 weeks. I spent 2 years in Dagestan, that kind of thing. And it's because it's something that's starting to be missing from everyone's day-to-day life. Once you get settled in, especially with where I'm at, an office job, it's really easy to get into a routine. You wake up, you go to work, you come home, you watch reels, you go to bed. Obviously, some people are probably a lot more productive than that, but that's generally the gist. And so I feel like it's missing something. Like life itself is missing an important element, spontaneity, a little bit of something different. And that's not for everyone. It's perfectly okay too. I definitely have huge phases where I just want things to go the same day to day, and that doesn't happen. And then obviously other times I just wish, oh, wake up, we're going to South Korea for 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, yeah, that'd be awesome. um it's just sort of getting sick of the routine and being stuck in your day-to-day ways and then trying to change it, but it's so ingrained, especially as you get older, and you get out of school. I feel like definitely when I was back in school, it's easier to be spontaneous because, yeah, you have your classes, but after that, it just becomes a matter of, oh, well, you can also do this after, or you can get into this sport, or you can do this, that, or the other. And that's a lot harder to find, especially as you get older. And then myself, I live in a super small town. It's not like there's many organizations with younger people around me. I'm kind of in a retirement community, so it's even hard to meet new people. And so as you kind of progress and you get used to your new state of life, you start to lose those skills. I have a hard time now just talking to anybody, meeting new people, that kind of thing. And it's weird because you feel deep down that you still know how to, and you kind of hear that voice that's like, oh, you need to do this, but it's like lost in translation. You can't quite get across it as you used to. And that goes for hobbies too. I got into a position for a few months there where I was just dedicated to my job. I didn't really do anything outside of work except study to get better at doing more work. And it's kind of a vicious cycle that I've been trying to teach myself to break and actually go out and do more things, do some like recreational sports maybe. So, being the middle-aged office worker in me, I started playing pickleball. And, it's not that that's necessarily intensive training or that it's something that I'm probably ever going to be remotely good at. It's still something that gets me out of the house and something that gets me to move and, even if I'm feeling brave some days, talk to new people. And I think as I get older, I'm starting to realize the importance of things like that. It's important to find something, even if it's small or if you don't fit in at first, that you can do outside of office hours. Because it's becoming increasingly more and more important to be defined by what you do in your day-to-day. One of the first questions people ask you when you get to know them is, hey, what do you do for work? And I've kind of grown to resent that because I feel like what someone does as a job versus how they want to be day-to-day, they can coexist, but they shouldn't define each other. And you shouldn't be defined by your job. And I don't know, it's something so simple when you say it out loud. It's like, well, duh, that makes sense. Like, what are you talking about? But it's something I've kind of had to relearn myself because like I said earlier, I found myself in a position where, oh, work, wake up, I go to work, come back, study for work, or do more work. And breaking that cycle has kind of freed me up. Another thing I started doing, obviously, is I started making videos, even stupid short form content that gets brutally ratioed online. And, you know, am I any good at it? No, not really. Would it be a career? That'd be amazing, but realistically, probably not. But it's something that just the act of doing, being something else outside of work, has made my day-to-day like so much more bearable. I am not, you know, super depressed when I get home. I have something to look forward to. And obviously it's different for everyone, and some people, they're about that life, you know, and I respect to them, you know, respect for being able to kind of go through day to day and have that grind in you. I wish I was like that as well, but I found that trying to live like that has just made me miserable in the long term. And don't get me wrong, there's a case to be made for, you know, working hard and staying on top of everything, and I think you should be like that. It should be, but it shouldn't be your everything. Um, and that's kind of the point I've reached, where I have more so decided that work stays during work hours, and then trying to relearn just the hobbies and the small things that get you out, that make you happy again. I think that's really important. But yeah, that's my weekly rant. Not structured at all, not scripted, so probably a lot of nonsense. But it's something that I wanted to talk about. Let me know in the comments down below if maybe you have any experiences similar. Maybe I'm just a lazy dude who doesn't want to work anymore, which is entirely possible. But yeah, thank y'all for listening, and I'll catch y'all later. Have a good one.